Welcome back. You're listening to the Nerd Course Podcast, a podcast reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 85, and it's being recorded pretty late, but as always, it is your host, Raul Alejandro Mendoza, the Nerd Chicano himself, and his trusted sidekick, Young Yoda. Brad, say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm awake.
Yeah, he's awake. Today we have some very, I want to say, awesome guests. And I'm really asleep, so I'm not thinking clearly right now. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they are wonderful people coming hot from their Kickstarter that just got funded, and they're doing their stretch goals. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. But Ashley and Jason, introduce yourselves to the people.
Hi, I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson. You might know me from being on a bunch of cool nerd shows around the internet. Co-hosting the Geek History Lesson podcast with Jason, appearing on his YouTube channel, Jawin, or our first comic book together, Jupiter Jet, that you can get in comic book stores and on Amazon.
And I'm Jason Inman. I come from a farm in Kansas, and sometimes that has led me to talking on DC Comics videos about Superman, but not anymore. So I'm now just a full-time writer. Yay!
Ooh. So it looks like we have Clark Kent in this call. So that's awesome. So we're really happy to have you. Glad that this finally happened. And so we tried it the first time around. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Look, I'm gonna blame it on myself for giving the wrong time zones. I said Eastern time, and I shouldn't have said Eastern time. It was Pacific. So things happen.
Okay, it all worked out.
So we're gonna be talking today about their new comic book, Science. Which I am happily a backer of. I didn't notice that I did the digital, the $15 one. I wanted the physical copy too, so I'm gonna go ahead and change that around sometime soon. But
we appreciate your mistake.
Oh, no worry about it. Hey, I love Jupiter Jet, but I did the mistake of buying that one physical too, because I'm visually disabled, so I can't. It takes me a little bit more time than everybody else to read physically. Because I can't zoom in like I could on my own screen. So it's taking me slower than usual, but I'm going through Jupiter Jet. I love it. I love the whole premise of this. And I just want to say I want myself a jetpack too.
Oh, don't we all?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say my favorite character right now is the cat, actually. But that's just because I love cats. So
Puddles? That's good, man.
Yeah. And Brad also has... the Jupiter Jet, but he actually bought it digitally, so he knew what he was going to get himself into. He said, you know what, might as well get it digitally. So, wait, Brad, who's your favorite character?
It's got to be Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
I love the engineering type.
It's funny, when we were writing Jupiter Jet, we had to give ourselves a rule because you may hear like other writers say this, but it's very true that when you are writing dialogue for your characters, it's like you're hearing the character just talk to you, and that's how you decide like what they say. And sometimes your character will come out of your head and forcibly be like, no, I'd say this, dummy. And Chuck is the type of character that we would have to tell him to shut up or cut his lines because he would very quickly take over every scene because he would never shut up. Yeah. And we had to keep telling ourselves that this book is called Jupiter Jet. It's not called Chuck.
Yeah. Although that could be a sequel.
That's true. Or a spinoff.
Yeah. I think Chuck is really interesting. I know the reason that Brad loves him so much is because Brad's an engineer himself. And his favorite line is the one about the coffee, right, Brad?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Coffee fuels me.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Science. Also, if you guys want to stick around, we'll be talking about that Captain Marvel trailer that just dropped today. So that was big news. And also some little bit of news going around about an Avatar The Last Airbender live action show coming to Netflix. So that's big stuff. But I want to talk about Science, and I want to go into that. So if you guys want to introduce it and stuff like that, so that way the viewers have an idea.
Science is our new 80-page graphic novel, original graphic novel on Kickstarter right now at sciencecomicbook.com. The basic premise is that the main character, 14-year-old Tamsin, is attending her first year at the most advanced science school in the world called the Prometheus Institute. But secretly, she's not too happy about being there because she wants to destroy it from the inside. So think about Harry Potter going to Hogwarts, except Harry Potter wants to kill Dumbledore. That's basically the premise of our book. And it's a lot of zany, fun science, like those old 1950s and 60s adventure science fiction serials mixed with real science. We have a character called a STAT, which is a flying robot, which stands for what, Ashley?
Science and Technological Assistant Teachers.
That's right. And they are these friendly little robots that will interrupt the story and talk directly to the reader and tell them the real science behind what the imaginary science is based on.
Yeah, we really wanted it to be, it's science fiction. Jupiter Jet was science fiction, but it was a little more fantastical. And this book is fiction grounded in science. So I hope our engineering lives up to Brad's exacting standards.
Well, I'm sure it will. Sure it will. I'm a civil engineer, by the way, so I like dirt.
Well, our main engineer, he likes to go fast.
Nice.
That's most of his motivation.
Yeah. So that sounds really awesome. I can't wait to read that. And I had to back it. I said, I'm loving Jupiter
Thank
Jet.
you.
And I said, I'm a big fan of you guys. I love Geek History Lesson. I'm always listening to all the episodes. I keep telling Brad, like, dude, come on, listen to Geek History Lesson. Listen to Geek History Lesson. I don't know if he's listening to me.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. YouTube, I try to watch it every now and then, but it's just that, like, I like podcasts more because I can, like, I can just close
Me too, man.
phone. I can close the phone and I can just have it, like, listening in the background. With YouTube, I have to kind of have it open, and, sometimes I'm doing schoolwork, so I have to be in the background doing stuff, so I kind of forget that my phone's even open. So I'm more visual too, so if I'm watching a video, I want to watch it, and I just listen to it. So I'm always finding myself listening to Geek History Lesson the most, but I do like the videos y'all do on Jawin.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We haven't had as much time to put as many videos over there because just my new job has a very demanding schedule. So, but yeah, we kept the podcast going because I love doing the podcast. I actually love doing the podcast more than I do the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Before I did this, my main thing is I'm going to film school. So, I do that. And before I did the podcast, I was doing vlogs on YouTube, and I just didn't like it. I was like, YouTube is really cool, but I see myself more of a viewer on YouTube than actual creator. And when I found podcasting, I thought that was really cool. So when Ashley sent me this email saying, hey, we want to be on your show, I'm like, you don't even have to ask. You're going to be on it, okay? Don't even ask. Whenever you want, you tell us, and we will make the space to have you on this episode. So that was really awesome. I was really surprised. I told Brad, I'm like,
flexible.
Yeah. I told Brad, dude, Ashley wants to be on our show. And he's like, who's Ashley? I'm like, dude, you don't know who Ashley is? Do you listen to the History Lesson? And he's like, nope. I'm like, well, you know what? Brad is kind of like 60 years old sometimes. So I said, okay, I got to push you into it. So I told Brad, like, hey, is this person, they, her husband, what's it called? They wrote Jupiter Jet. And I told him, hey, get the comic book. You're not gonna want to miss it. You got to read it. And now, to celebrate science, Brad and I, we have a Patreon for this page. So we're saying to so with Patreon, we give them access to a exclusive giveaway for the page. So for the next 2 weeks, we are giving away a copy of Jupiter Jet. We're going to pay it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't worry about it. We want to share the love of this book with everybody because this is awesome. I wish I could pay for a tier for somebody for science along with the book, but we're kind of trying to stay in the means of the funds. So I said, okay, we're going to give away a copy because we want everybody to get a taste of this book because this is a really nice book. I actually have it right here next to me.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I do want to say about the Kickstarter tiers, we have a whole bunch and we have what I think are cool rewards at every level, but we really want to encourage people that if they go and check out the campaign, and they can find that at sciencecomicbook.com. We made it really easy. If you like it and you can't afford the book or some of the high rewards, that's fine. I totally understand. And more Kickstarters are funded with $1 donations and anything else. And if that's too much, because we've also both been there before, if people would consider, again, if they think it's cool, sharing it on their social media, that would mean the world to us, to just get the book out there.
We completely get that. We always tell them about the Patreon, and we're like, hey guys, $1 is fine, but if you guys can't do it, just sharing the episodes is fine with us. So guys, go over to their Kickstarter. You can take it from me. I already backed. I'm ready for this. I did the digital one. I'm gonna change it up to the $25 one to get the physical book as well, because I don't want Jupiter Jet to be lonely. I gotta get science next to it. So, Brad, I don't know if you've done one of the tiers yet.
But this interest after talk, I will be doing a tier.
All right. I'd seen that Jason was gonna do a giveaway. That if you did the $25 one, you got the season 1 Blu-ray of Luke Cage, and Brad loves season 1 of Luke Cage.
So I'll be doing more giveaways. There's still a giveaway up there for the Batman Gotham by Gaslight Blu-ray that no one has claimed.
And that's a good movie.
And it's a great movie. It's the 4K Blu-ray copy of it. No, and all you have to do is go to the reason why we say the $25 level is because that's the level that gets you the book.
Yeah.
So if you do that, you basically get a Blu-ray that's the same price as your $25. And I'll send it to you if you're in the United States. But nobody's claimed it. It's been up there for like a whole day. Nobody's.
Right.
All you have to do is donate $25 and then go to the Kickstarter and comment Batman as a scientist, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Brad, I don't think you've seen Gotham by Gaslight yet, have you?
I have not.
All right, then I think
go claim it, man. Go claim it.
Yeah. Because we're gonna watch Batman Ninja when that's available next month, and we're gonna review it on here.
Gird yourselves, my friends. Gird yourselves.
Oh yeah, Brad, go and do that, dude. I think that'd be really cool. So remember, Batman is a scientist, Brad, so you can get that Blu-ray. So I want to keep on going with science. So I try to prepare myself for this episode as much as I can, but I know that this is my first time doing it, kind of thing. So I said, "Oh, Raul, cut yourself some slack. You're not gonna be perfect the first time around." So one question that I am itching to ask you. So when writing Jupiter Jet, what was one thing that you learned from it that you're kind of bringing to the table with science?
I think the biggest thing that we learned is to have as much of it planned out as possible. Jason is a big planner when writing. I'm a little more fly by the seat of my pants, and we had a really good outline for Jupiter Jet that we worked off of. A lot of it did make it into that volume, but now, since it might just come to mind because this is where we are in the science process, but we're breaking it down even more, and we're putting a lot more sort of into the pre-production elements before we dive into writing the rest of the book.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing I forgot to point out that I seem to love. I don't know about Brad yet. I love the art style. Brad and I are really big anime fans. And every time I'm looking at this, I kind of get that anime feel when I'm seeing the art style.
That was for Jupiter Jet. That was the amazing Ben Matsuya who got his start sort of in animation.
Oh,
so that's the reason why Jupiter Jet definitely looks like that.
Yeah. So that's really awesome. I'm glad that I had a gut feeling. I said, I think this artist must have done some animation or at least some manga. So
there were a couple times in the making of Jupiter Jet where we had to teach Ben how to draw a comic book and not animate storyboards. There were a couple pages where I had to do some bad panel illustrations, and I'm really, really bad at it, but I had to be like, it's like this, and that's only because we're more familiar with the language of comic books than he is. And I think same for as Jupiter Jet was a learning process for us, the Jupiter Jet was a learning process for him. Like everything you do, you get better. And so now I know Ben would be just an absolute pro.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with that aspect. And I know you guys have a different artist for Science, right?
Yes, her name is Des Pittman. She is a graduate of the Joe Kubert School of Sequential Art. We met her at Wizard World Portland. Mm-hmm. We tabled beside her and her amazing husband, and we liked her art style, and she was super friendly, and we asked her because here's the thing that you don't know when you're making your own comic books. You basically have to hire an artist and pay them. That's the whole reason why we're doing the Kickstarter. And we had a hard time getting an artist to agree to the project or stay on the project. And Des was the first one in us after several artists that had said yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Her name sounds really familiar. She did Runaways, I believe, right?
No, I don't think so.
No, she's more well known for, she does like these zombie portraits that are really, really popular. We do have a Runaways artist, Ryan Sands, who's also one of the actors on the show. He plays Jeffrey Wilder. He's done a print for us, which is really amazing.
Oh, okay. All right. I might have been switching it up there. But her name sounds wildly familiar. Might just be me right now that I'm up at 11. So, and that's really awesome. Really looking forward to that because from the stuff that you have on Kickstarter of the art style for this one, I'm really liking it.
Thanks, man. We like it too.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't give me that anime manga feel, but I'm definitely digging what I'm seeing right now, and
we wanted it to have a different feel. Yeah. Like we didn't want it to be the same thing, and that's the whole reason why a lot of people are asking us too. They're like, "Well, why didn't you do Jupiter Jet Volume 2?" And it's like, "Well, we want to do Jupiter Jet Volume 2, but we want to do something else first. We don't want to just only be known as the Jupiter Jet writers. We want to be known as other things." And I call it akin to Christopher Nolan, like when he was making the Batman trilogy. He didn't make all three of those movies back to back. He made a different movie in between each one. He did Batman Begins, he did The Prestige, he did Dark Knight, and then he did Inception, and then he did The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. So, you got a different flavor by these two completely different movies in between Christopher Nolan. And then when he went back to Batman, you were excited for it. So that's kind of the same idea. And that's the same idea with the art style. We didn't want it to look like Jupiter Jet. We wanted it to look different.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. I think that's a very intimate decision that you come towards as an artist, and especially as a writer. I don't think you want to really stick to what you're doing right now. You kind of want to explore all these different areas where you can work. I think that's completely viable. That's really something that, as an artist, you have to come to terms with it yourself. Really, the consumer can't really dictate that. That's really your decision as an artist when making this, and I can completely respect that, But I like what I see. Definitely excited for that, and really looking forward to it. I believe it's June 2019, right?
June 2019 is again, that's the date. But I will say, we pad out all of our Kickstarter reward goals, so hopefully it would actually be sooner than that. But we put it at June 2019 for the release of the book, just because you never know in the production of a book where the artist is drawing or the colorist is coloring, the letterer is lettering, or even printing the book, that something can go wrong, that somebody can get sick, that the printer can shut down. There's so many things in the actual production of a book that can delay stuff. So we gave ourselves a little bit of a buffer. I hope it comes out sooner than that, but you'll at least have it by June 2019, which I think is pretty fair. When, it's just like, when Avengers 4 is coming out, like this far away, you can wait for a book.
9 months. We're making a baby here.
Yeah.
It's fine. I will wait. I will wait 2 years for this. It's fine.
It won't be that long. But
I will tease this too. Since you have said so many nice things about Jupiter Jet, it's something we really do want to return to.
Yeah. I hope you guys do. But if you don't return to it, I guess in like the next 2-3 years, it's fine. It's completely fine.
Yeah, it might take us that long to get back around, because again, to go back to Jupiter Jet Volume 2, we'd have to do the same thing that we're doing for Science. Like, we'd have to get the money to pay Ben again.
Yeah.
And Ben is a more veteran artist, so he's a little bit more expensive. So that means we need more money, and we have to plan that Kickstarter and all that stuff like that. I will say, if you're jonesing for Jupiter Jet Volume 2, the clues to what, because we know what it's about. The clues to what it would be about are all in the backup material, called The Origin of the Jetpack. There's 2 pages in every issue of Jupiter Jet that we did. We told this little tale about their parents. Every clue you want to know about Jupiter Jet Volume 2 is in that backup.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been reading those as I'm going. I think I'm going to start the 3rd issue soon. Just been super busy with schoolwork and stuff like that. So, Brad,
quit school, read comics.
I wish my mom would kill me. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no.
No, stay in school. We're writing a book about school. School's important.
Yeah, no. Try saying that to my very Latin mother. Okay, that is not gonna go with her. Just say you either stay in school or you're kicked out of the house. So yeah, I'm reading towards that, and that's really cool. And I'll probably say my thoughts on my full review later when I finish the book, which will probably be like in 4 to 5 months. I want to say not as long as that, but it's just the way my eyes work. Brad, is there anything you want to ask about?
Don't apologize for that. Just read and enjoy it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I do have the option where I could take it to my school and they could probably scan it and give me a PDF version of it. But at the same time, like, I really try not to give as much hassle to the disabilities office. So I'm gonna just. Hey man,
you bought the hard copy of the book. Send me an email and I'll send you the PDF.
Oh, thank you. For sure. If it's not too
truly, that's the least I could do.
Yeah, if it's not too much trouble,
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. Just remind me because I'm a little ill right now, so I might forget. So just follow up with me.
Okay. Well, we hope you feel better. And don't worry, I'll follow up with you. And it's okay if you don't send it until like 2-3 weeks. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Brad, is there anything you want to ask about science before we move on and talk about a little trailer that dropped today?
Yeah, I think I have a note here. I guess I wrote back a week ago or so before you got the time zones wrong. So Fantastic Four was a big influence for science. Is that correct?
Yes.
So do you think they'll ever get a Fantastic Four movie right?
Yes, if they hire a certain person called Jason Inman. No, beyond my incredibly arrogant answer. Yeah, I think so, because there's a right writer and there's a right director for every story. And to me, I'll say what I think is the biggest problem with those 2 Fantastic Four movies is they keep trying to. A lot of people are obsessed with this idea where the Fantastic Four are celebrities.
Yeah.
And that is part of it. But it's a small part of it, because I love the Fantastic Four. They're my favorite Marvel characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've read every Fantastic Four issue of the main series. And I've read the first 100 issues of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee over and over and over again. It's not that they're celebrities. That's a byproduct of what they are. It's the fact that they are 100% scientists, and that they are constantly going into the unknown, and they are following this man called Reed. And like, that's how they got to be who they are. And instead of like sitting around and moping about, their situation where one of them's a rock and one of them turns into fire and one of them's invisible, they could like sit around like some normal people would do that. They'd be like, what is wrong with me? They decide to follow this guy who's like, no, the answer's out there. We just got to find it. And we're going to keep kicking over every rock until we find it. We're going to break into other dimensions until we find it. And we're going to go to this weird Omega Theta system to find it. And they follow him because he's so charismatic, because he actually is fantastic. Reed Richards is one of these dudes that if he told you that the sky was orange and we were stupid for believing the sky was blue for the last 200 or the entire millennia, he's so charismatic and so smart that we would believe him. And that's where I think the problem is about those movies. Is they don't understand. One, they've never captured Reed Richards. Reed Richards, again, he's Tony Stark, yet he's Tony Stark who's not arrogant and competent.
Yeah.
That's who Reed Richards is. He can run circles around Tony Stark with no problem. His only problem is that he's so obsessed with the unknown that he sometimes forgets about the known, like his family. And that family thinks he's so amazing and so smart that they follow him everywhere. And I think if a movie got that idea, it'd be great.
Yeah. Hashtag Jason for F4 for sure.
God, that would be a dream job. I'll tell you what, my friends. I've been dreaming about writing the Fantastic Four for so long. I have a notebook where I literally have 60 issues of my Fantastic Four run planned out issue by issue by issue. And they've changed continuities and they've added a new child since I wrote that. It still works.
Yeah. Yeah. So one big influence for you is Fantastic Four. Ashley, do you have a big influence going into this?
For Science and for Tamsin specifically, who's our protagonist, she actually looks a lot like my best friend in high school, whose name is Kristen Freeland. She's a stage manager in Toronto.
Have you sent this to her? I didn't know this.
I have, yeah. She's Indian American, and she's kind of bossy. Yeah. And it's really funny because when we were thinking about the idea, like I always kind of imagined her like that, and it just happened to really work. Like Tamsin came really fully formed, but I also like to say that she reminds me a bit of Tim Drake, because Tim Drake is always the smartest person in the room, but he's not always concerned with controlling the room the way some other characters are. And I think Tamsin is very that.
Yeah. That's awesome that it's based on someone like that. Representation is really important. That's one thing that we completely stress on this podcast. I mean, going back to the Black Panther episode that we did, and we kept saying, like, I don't know why it took Hollywood as long as they could to see that this could happen. And I'm glad that there's that push for it as well in comics. Because I wish when I was growing up, I wish I would have had characters that spoke Spanish like me on the TV, or who, depicted my family as well on TV. I got that with Coco. And I wish that in comics, when I would have been reading when I was younger, that I would have had characters like a Latino like me.
You gotta read Jaime Reyes.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was just about to say, man. The Jaime, the original Jaime Reyes first 25 issues, where he's just in El Paso dealing with his family, is amazing. And I think it would probably, because of what you said, it'd probably really speak to you.
Yeah. One other one that I have my eye on right now is Border Town by Eric Esquivel.
Yeah, I liked first issue. It was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy that, but I have this thing where I wait around for the trade because I want all the issues, so that way.
Dude, me too, because I don't want to die crushed by a bunch of long boxes.
Yeah. That's why I waited for Jupiter Jen. I said, I'm going to wait for the trade to come out because I don't want to buy like all the volumes out, stretched down and wait, because I'm a very, very, like, if I'm starting to read something, I want to get to it like that, It's the reason the shows on Hulu, they don't catch my eye that much, because they come out like every week, an episode every week. I'd rather have the whole thing there so I can just go at it like that. So I'm waiting for Border Town to get the trade so I can read that. And I was super surprised that first issue is being taught in the Intro to Chicano Literature class. So I thought that was awesome. And I know that how hard that class is to teach right now in the political climate of the country. So I know that there was some specific states that were not allowing Chicano literature to be taught in class. So
that's so upsetting.
Yeah, no, because this is far from being a history podcast, but I would say that some of the best literature that my people have made comes from that time in the Chicano movement in the 60s, and a lot of the best poetry comes from that time. So, I'm really glad that a comic book was able to make it on that list. So, it's on par with Yo Soy Joaquin by Jorge Gonzalez and all the novels by Jose Angel Gutierrez. And I think that's awesome. And I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check the Blue Beetle run as well. But I think it's time to go ahead and talk about a little trailer that dropped today. So, by the way, guys, Ms. Brie Larson went to Good Morning America today, and she presented the first trailer for Captain Marvel. And Brad, before we saw this, we were skeptical on it. We said, "Oh, how are they gonna make this work?" Brad and I were not the best, the most knowledgeable on Captain Marvel. I know the base, like the mythos of who Carol Danvers is. But I don't have the biggest knowledge on her. I think I'm more in tune with Kamala Khan actually, because I actually like Miss Marvel a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, I think Kamala's awesome. If she comes out in this movie, I'm gonna scream because I love Kamala.
I lower your expectations. I don't think she will.
Yeah, I doubt it because it's the '90s.
I doubt it will because we've been waiting for Miles to show up, and he still has yet to show up either.
Yeah, they give that teaser in Homecoming, which I thought was awesome, but I'm gonna be 40 by the time that Miles Morales comes out. You know, I would love that because that's a big push in representation too, because he's not just African American, he's Puerto Rican, so that'd be awesome. So the trailer is really good, Brad. Surprisingly, I was super hesitant, and then they show her crashing into Blockbuster. So I said, for the people who don't know that this is set in the '90s, I guess the Blockbuster is a sign to remind you guys that it's set in the '90s. Brad, did you watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer.
Yeah. What did you think? Because you were the one that was the most skeptical. You were like, they're gonna have to sell it to me, and if it looks good, then I'm ready for this movie. What did you think?
I thought it was a decent trailer, but it was just a small taste. So, I mean, I'm still kind of questionable on it. It wasn't like the Shazam trailer that dropped, and I was much more skeptical on that movie. And the Shazam trailer just kind of blew my mind in how they presented that. Yeah. So I'll the second trailer they'll probably get me with it, but it felt just a small taste of what Captain Marvel has to offer.
Yeah, it's completely opposite for me. I was in it when I saw this trailer. I was so sold on this, and I said, "Wow, I think Brie Larson's gonna really do it. I think she's gonna do a wonderful job." And we always go back to Wonder Woman being the one that led the way to all this, and I mean, props to Gal Gadot that she was able to do a wonderful job with that character. And I think Brie Larson's gonna do the same thing for Captain Marvel. Jason and Ashley, did you guys get to watch the trailer?
Yep, we saw it. I watched it almost as soon as it came out.
My favorite part was where Zachary Levi did the weird dance. That's the right Captain Marvel movie, right? We're talking about that one?
I think that's the right one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hey, I will pay top dollar to see Zachary Levi do the floss dance every day of my life. Okay, that was awesome. So the trailer is really nice. You guys can go watch that on YouTube. I'm looking forward to this. It comes out on my birthday, so I know what I'm doing my birthday. I'm gonna go watch Captain Marvel. I'm gonna go with my cousin, and we're gonna have a good time. So that comes out March 8, 2019, by the way, guys. So that's the one before Avengers 4. And I know it's a little bit too early to speculate, but do you think we're gonna get a connection to Thanos in this one?
Yes, 100%. I think this movie is gonna allude to him. I actually, to be honest with you, what I think would be, I don't know if this would be, true or not. I think the stronger thing to do story-wise would be to not show Thanos, but to have a scene with Gamora. And she's full-on assassin for Thanos, Gamora. I think that would be the better idea. Like, show her interact, because we know Ronan is in this movie. Ronan, who later works for Thanos. Maybe you could see the beginnings of Thanos entreating Ronan over to his side.
Yeah, man, I don't know what we got to do to get you to work over there at Marvel Studios, but I think we're gonna keep working hard for that.
Please do submit my resume right to him, everybody.
Yeah, guys, come on, Jason for F4, hashtag Jason for F4. Let's go. I doubt we can get that trending. That's not in our power to do that, but hey, put it out there because I think Jason could work for Marvel Studios for sure. So Brad, you're not sold entirely yet, but they have your interest, right?
Yes.
So I figured that I'm a little bit more easier to please with these trailers. Just in that last shot of her powering up with the quantum powers, that was awesome. I thought that looked amazing. So that's the one that really got me. I thought it was cool that they're gonna have the helmet, the mask that shows the mohawk and everything. That was cool. So let's go ahead and move on from that. I have one last thing to talk about, guys. Don't want to keep you guys too much here. You guys probably want to sleep already.
Well, I know you definitely got to go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I don't have class tomorrow, so I'm fine. But it was just I just didn't expect to fall asleep, and it happens to me.
I know. We're very exhausting.
Yeah. No, you guys are not. We would love to have you on all the episodes if we could. Brad, you're a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I am too. I don't know about y'all. Are y'all fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Big fans.
Huge fans.
Yeah, this was such a great show. We're gonna go ahead and forget the M. Night movie. Yep.
They had a great Zuko. I will defend Dev Patel as a casting choice for Zuko until I die.
They had a great Uncle Iroh.
Yeah. Dev Patel is amazing actor. Have y'all watched Lion?
We haven't seen that yet. That's the one he was nominated for a couple years ago.
He was great in The Newsroom.
Yeah. Lion brought me to tears, and I'm a crybaby myself. I will admit that until the day I'm dead. But that movie brought me to tears so much. Like, it wasn't like regular crying that I do in movies. This was ugly crying. Like, wow. Aww. It was amazing. So I completely recommend Lion. I need to watch Newsroom. I haven't watched that one. But yeah, I will defend Dev Patel in anything. So I have the article here from Deadline. So apparently there is a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender series going on in Netflix. This is just a day after they talked about this Netflix X thing that's going on over there. We still don't know what that is. My prediction is that it's a profile just for nerd culture. You know how they have the kids profile on Netflix? So you can click it and it has all the kids stuff. I think this Netflix X thing is going to be, the same thing. You just click on it and it's only devoted to nerd culture programming. So I'm really excited. The concept art you see on this thing is amazing. Appa looks beautiful. And I know this is concept art. This is not the final product. But I am so excited for this. They have the original writers working on this. So as long as they keep M. Night away from this project, I think we're on the path to having a great series.
The other thing that a lot of people don't realize with this, and I only know this because we have a friend that works at Netflix, and this is my friend, this is our friend who, when I was skeptical about The Punisher, and I was skeptical about Lost in Space over there, who he was like, no, trust us, they're good. And to me, they both knocked my socks off, both those shows. Yeah. He said that they even have the executive who worked at Nickelodeon who was in charge of these writers when they were making the animated series. So not only do they have the showrunners of the original animated series, they have the executive. And that is a thing that a lot of people may not realize is if you have the executive behind you, then it is going to have the same tone, the same flavor. You're not going to have these crazy decisions where they're going to be like, yeah, let's cast an unknown as Aang and let's call him Ong the entire movie.
Also, if people don't know this, the showrunners from Avatar were heavily, and the writers were heavily involved in Voltron, which people really enjoy over at Netflix.
Which is probably how they got this deal.
I think so.
Yeah. So that's awesome that they have the same executive. Brad, were you going to say something?
No, I'm just intrigued by all of this.
Yeah. What you're looking forward to this, Brad?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more info about it. And I mean, if they're keeping the same people behind the show, heck. Yeah, keeping Night Shyamalan away from it.
Yeah. So hopefully this goes well. The cast is not whitewashed. I want to see this being accurately portrayed as possible.
The interesting thing about this might be that since they have the original writers and the original executive, it will be interesting to see how fans react when I have a prediction that they're going to go off the beaten path, that they're going to take some more chances and they're going to be like,
I would love that. A little more mature, maybe.
Yeah. Or that they're, I have a feeling they're not going to tell the exact same story that the animated series did. I think they're going to make it quite a bit different. I think one, because what interest does it serve them to write the exact same show? Yeah. And two, I think they might be like, well, this is live action. It needs to be different. It'll be interesting to see how fans react to that when, Aang is not the exact Aang as he was in the cartoon, but it's the same spirit, Yeah.
I think they have the support from the fans, especially since they're the original writers and the original executive, then I think they can take a little bit more risks because they know that, hey, you aren't going to go off the rails with it like M. Night did. So I think that they can take those risks, and I can't wait to see what they'll do with it. I'm thinking back to Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's completely different from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but you can take those risks because you still have a very devoted fan base that a lot of them probably are subscribed to Netflix and they'll still watch it because it's Sabrina.
Oh, I'm so excited for that show.
Yeah,
it looks so good. The trailer did.
Yeah, I didn't.
The comic's great.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it was a comic, Brad.
Yeah, there's a comic book that Archie put out a couple years ago called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's amazing.
It's Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, who is the showrunner of Riverdale.
Yep.
And wrote on Supergirl, and Robert Hack is the artist. And actually, that trailer lifts a lot of his panels from the first 6 issues of that series. Like, it's really amazing.
Yeah. So that's awesome. A lot of cool stuff that we're looking forward to. This probably won't come out until I want to say 2020 at least. I think take all
at
the
the
time.
earliest, I think.
Yeah, take all the time you guys want, just as long as you come out with a good product. And I don't think it could ever touch to what the movie was. So I think we're fine. We have the original writers and the executive. I'm actually interested to see who's going to be directing some of these episodes. So that's that. Brad, do you have anything else to say about this before we head on and say goodbye?
No, just to thank our guests for spending the time with us tonight, and it's been a great episode.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for fighting time zones and rescheduling and letting us talk about science, which everyone can get at sciencecomicbook.com.
Yeah, so go to sciencecomicbook.com, go look at the tiers and choose one that you'll like. I think Brad's gonna get that $25 one already, so you guys can't wait.
I'm actually on the page right now. I just have to go get my wallet downstairs.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna stall for a little bit, Brad. So while you go get your wallet and get to watch Gotham by Gaslight when you get that Blu-ray. So go to sciencecomicbook.com, get it, pledge to a tier, back it. These are wonderful people who make great comics. I'm loving what I'm seeing in Jupiter Jet, and I think the next one is going to be even better. And I can't wait for Jupiter Jet to have a buddy next to her when I get a physical copy of this book when I update my tier. So
yeah, that's right, man. And also, don't forget to put a 5-page, 9-point letter in Times New Roman font, writing and telling Marvel how much I should write the Fantastic Four. Yeah. Use at least 10 different fonts and 10 different sources.
The more you can make it look like a serial killer, the better, honestly.
Yes, and just put a bunch of yarn in the bag, put it in one of those manila envelopes and CC it to Joe Quesada and send as many of those as you can. And CB Cebulski, telling them how much, but just make it, send them Polaroids of yourself. Just make them go mad wanting to hire me to write the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, hey guys, let's go ahead and get it. Jason, hashtag Jason for F4, because he stole the words right out of my mouth when he described what should happen with the F4 movie. So go to their page and go get a tier. Also go to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/nerdcore. Subscribe to the $1 tier so that way you can get access to the Patreon giveaway for this month as we give away a copy of Jupiter Jet. You guys are going to get a copy. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about even paying for the book. Raul and Brad are going to pay for it themselves. And we're going to send you a copy because you should read this book. It's awesome. And remember, Movie Club will have the movie next week to review, Ex Machina. So if you want to be in the movie club, you go to the $5 tier and you get that. Hope you guys been enjoying the 80s film months reviews. We did Totoro yesterday. So that was awesome to do. And the next episode for this show will be Castle Rock Season 1 review. But remember, if you did enjoy the episode, go to your podcast app of choice and leave a rate and a review. Helps us with the feedback. Follow us on Twitter at @TheNerdCore_. Follow us on Instagram at @TheNerdCore. Follow us on Facebook and like the page at The Nerdcore Pods. They didn't have the Nerdcore available, so I had to add something extra to it. That's just how it goes. Jason and Ashley, tell them where they can find you. I'm pretty sure they already know where to find you, but just if you want to reiterate it.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ashley V. Robinson. You can find Jason at Jawin, Jawiin. That is also the name of our YouTube channel. And check out Geek History Lesson. We have 228 episodes at geekhistorylesson.com. This week, at the time of this recording, we're talking about Barry Allen. It's really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to that one tomorrow in the morning when I wake up.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I love the Nightcrawler episode.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah.
So did you like the special guest star of Tex Willerman?
Yes. Nightcrawler is actually my favorite X-Men.
Mine too. Yeah. Well, hold on for the Christmas show.
Tex Willerman is your favorite X-Men? That's amazing.
No, not that Nightcrawler. Oh man. So Brad, are you still here, or did you get that wallet?
Yeah, I already did. I sent by Twitter and a private message that Batman is a scientist.
Yep, he just won the Batman Gotham by Gaslight Blu-ray.
Dude, it's really good. You're gonna enjoy it so much more than Batman Ninja. I'm sorry to say.
Yep, yes you will.
So you see, we have winners here on this podcast. So
there you go.
So thank you to our guests for being in here. I am very happy to have y'all. This is probably one of my favorite episodes. It's up there with the other shows that we've done. So we've had wonderful guests, but you two are wonderful guests too that we've had on here. We can't wait to do another episode with you. If you want to come around, just tell us if you want to.
Love to.
Yeah, just tell us, hey Raul, we want to review this movie. I will push everything aside and say, okay, just tell me the day, tell me the time, we'll do it. Preferably not at 11 again, because I'm probably gonna fall asleep again.
No, this was just because we had a couple other podcasts earlier, so we're jamming a lot of them in.
I don't get off work till late. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jason got a fancy job.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's the same thing with Brad. He gets out like Brad. You get out like around 8 my time, right?
I don't know. Sure.
Whatever.
I run on coffee and energy drinks, so I don't know. Time is an illusion.
Time is fluid.
Yeah, well, you gotta calm down with that, buddy, because I want you alive for the long run. Okay. All right. So remember, go to their Kickstarter. Also, go to our Patreon, because at $75, I dye my hair green for y'all. I can't believe I'm doing that, but hey, Brad shaves his beard at 100, and that's a magnificent beard he's got. And then Luis shaves his head with the razor too. So we're doing a lot of stuff here for y'all. So thank you guys for being here with us, and everybody go follow them, show them some love, and we hope to have you on another episode. It would be really fun. Down the line,
I'd love to come back.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. It means a lot to us, and I don't know about Brad if he watches the Schmodown, but hey, I enjoy seeing Jason on there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Go 5 Horsemen. I love that. Love that statement. Mainly because I'm a big wrestling fan, and I remember I know the whole idea of the 4 Horsemen, so I said, hell yeah, the 5 Horsemen, I'm down for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for y'all. This is your Nerd Chicano signing off. I will see you on the next episode. You're gonna hear our lovely voices on the Gamer Core. Actually, we're gonna be talking with our returning wonderful co-host Ashley as she comes back from Japan. And then on Saturday, you're going to get to hear the review of Castle Rock Season 1. So, Brad, before I send them off to you, we just want to remind y'all again, go follow them wherever they can be. Brad, go ahead and send them off into the podcast void.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to our great guests, Jason and Ashley. We truly appreciate it. And we will get up at any time to talk to you again.
Yes. Thank you.
And so thank you to all our listeners. And I guess to sign out, just go pledge your support at sciencecomicbook.com. Young Yoda out.